that
Always knew Orc
Hello,
was the best.
Grubby.
race.
barely gave me any time at all to get settled into my stream, Viper.
I'm sorry about that. It happens sometimes.
Why are your surrounds so good?
I learned it like 3-4 years ago from you, man.
But you remembered. You remembered well. That was nice.
Thank you.
Yesterday, after you had to step away from the stream to settle some things, you played a little bit off stream.
Yes,
Went pretty well.
I would agree with that.
I watched.
Had one loss there.
I watched some of those.
Okay.
You said you had one loss.
I had one loss, but that's because I had to go to the baby.
Oh, you.
The win streak was even better.
It's not because you were
Just
levels
wanna-
lower. You had to leave.
Yeah, obviously. Just trying to point out that the win streak was even more impressive. Not quite Red Panda level, but
I see. Oh, you mean against the Undead yesterday? That was a
yes.
like a mid-game quit.
Yeah. I was on my road to 1200, and then that happened.
I see.
Happens.
Do you believe in multiplayer games, if someone steps away because they have to tend to their baby, that they should still get reported?
Wait, that I get reported because I go and take care of my baby?
Like if it's a 5-on-5 game and you step away and you say like, sorry guys, I have to leave this mobile game, should you still get reported?
Right. So this is an it depends type of thing, right?
Right.
But I think if you are at risk for ruining the game for multiple other people, you shouldn't join the game to begin with.
Which means if you...
It doesn't mean I think you should get reported.
I see.
Yeah, that's why I'm still fine queuing up 1v1, because if I leave, at least, I mean, I mess up the game for the other guy, right? But at least I don't ruin for my teammates. Or I guess Warcraft as well is nice because games are usually fairly quick.
And it's 1-on-1. You're not disadvantaging any
Yeah.
teammates. The way I see it,
But I am like,
I report.
what?
I report that.
In a 5v5, I'm fine. But like 1v1, if I'm training now, preparing, if my opponent leaves after 7 minutes because he has to go to his baby, it's like, I wasted 7 minutes of my life.
No, they
But
get
do I
the
want
free
to
win.
report him?
No, it's fine in 1-on-1, but like in a team game, if you save like 7 babies from a burning building, I'm still going to report you for leaving the multiplayer game.
I do understand that. I completely get the mentality behind that.
What do you think the
But
mentality
my point is that you hate babies. But like my point is that I still wasted my 7 minutes. Like I'm not an elo guy, right? I don't look at my elo. Oh yeah, imaginary points. Oh, my schlong is so big, right? No, I'm more in like I wasted 7 minutes of valuable practice. I didn't get to see how the fight played out. I didn't get to learn. You know. I don't care about those imaginary puntos, but I do care about 7 babies burning to a certain degree.
7 MMR points or 7 babies. You've made your choice.
Wait, question.
Yeah.
Before I report him, do I know that the babies are burning?
Well, they're not burning yet. In fact, they're never going to burn.
But
Someone else would have saved them. But you didn't know that.
No. If he leaves to save them, then you report him, obviously. So the babies are saved.
Yes.
If he stays, you don't have to report him, and the babies aren't burning, probably, hopefully.
Yeah, probably not. But he wasn't sure about it, so he just checked. My philosophy for it is, if you are living with the satisfaction knowing that you saved 7 babies, getting reported is completely inconsequential by comparison.
I would assume majority of people would agree with that statement.
Imagine if you're like heralded as a hero and you just saved 7 families.
But
and then you're
24-hour ban.
But I got a 24-hour ban. Why? I figure it's not
just
a big
make an
deal
alt
today.
account. It's fine.
Yeah.
VPN.
Anyway, it's a good icebreaker.
Great intro.
Okay, you're almost 1200. Nice. What are your biggest struggles, sir?
Oof. Okay. Wait, much time do you have?
I see.
No, I think right now I'm struggling the most with decision making around 50 supply.
Okay.
I think also partly item management, but that's something I don't think you can help me with. That's just me needing to switch my focus, because I have kind of gotten a decent understanding of what is good on what. Sobi Mask on Shadowhunter, for example. Agility, Slippers, agility on the Blade Master, these things.
Yep.
Attack upgrades usually on range units because they will do more attacks, those things.
Right, yeah.
But what I struggle with, I think, a lot at the moment is like, okay, I have 50 supply. Game has been kind of even so far. I'm running around on the map, and I'm like, okay, am I supposed to creep now? Am I supposed to expand? Am I supposed to attack?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to just contain? Which I've done a few times, which was wrong.
It can be right.
I feel like it's wrong most of the time for me, but it can probably be right, yes.
Did you see my RTS tournament server post, your win conditions?
I have read through all those posts. Let me find it again.
It can be
I
useful
did
to
read
have
it, I just don't remember.
to
Yeah.
have it next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're at 50 pop and you're confused what to do, you're probably not operating with at least not an instinctive sense of win conditions.
Yes. But that's...
I
but
guess
like, I mean, like,
it
but
can
that,
feel a little theoretical when you're in that moment.
yes. But it's like, I feel like your win conditions that you posted were like, you kind of have to commit. All of those win conditions make sense, right? I like 7 not dying. That's a great one. But like, if I'm 50 supply, the game has gone, let's say, somewhat okay, and I feel like I maybe have a slight lead. It's like I feel like maybe it makes more sense to expand and creep, but at the same time, I have maybe a better army maybe, and I feel like I usually struggle as well when supply passes 50 with army composition because, and I usually feel like orcs suck. Sorry, their units suck.
Yeah, they kind
Hence,
of do.
I feel like should I maybe force the issue and be more aggressive?
What do you think are the best orc units?
Best orc units. Well, it depends on the state of the game, right? Raiders, if you're chasing, are great for ensnaring. You have headhunters, great for DPS. Grunts are good for tanking. Best unit probably Kodo, Raider, Headhunter.
Yeah,
Ish. So I should just always make that.
you can almost always make those. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so decision making from 50 pop onwards, I think, is a very interesting concept. Let's load up some replays so we can talk over them.
Okay.
Would you like them to be yours, or could they be anyone's?
Could be anyone's.
Okay, then we'll go to
Maybe
a
it's
high
even
level.
better if there's others. Yeah.
Yeah, because it'll be fresh to you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna.
And there's probably more logic behind their movement.
Yeah. Damn, Cash has
You didn't
been
have to laugh and say it like that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I was focusing on something else, so you got my real answer. It was not masked
Okay.
socially, so
Oh yeah, sorry.
it was a very
Okay, it's fine.
genuine concession to an obvious truth. Sorry about that.
Yeah. All good.
Your problem
Yeah, I'm not gonna
matchups?
quit the tournament or anything. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no. Why would anyone ever do that? Your matchups currently
Mm-hmm.
are statistically relevant to look at the win rates. Have you looked at them yourself?
I'm doing it right now. Statistics. Actually, pretty even.
Really?
Orc seems to be my worst.
Yeah.
A human is my best. I mean, I thought human was OP.
Your style, specifically your DNA, is well suited against human.
Okay.
Your preferred playstyle in different games, which is high contact, continual conflict, aggressive, and not quote unquote lame, not hit and run, not hit and runner abuser, not mass tower up and defend. That works well against
Intimacy.
human. Yes, an intimate, direct, assertive approach is what defines the Viper.
I like that.
That works well against human, because against human, you are not allowed to be proactive. You have to be reactive. I know it may feel like you're being proactive by going to their side of the map, but you are reacting to the human having a better game state if ignored. And if you just power crept to level 3, you would fall behind compared to the human that does the same. So that's how I see it, as in you are the reactor, they are the proactive plan maker. And
Makes sense.
That works well, because you can use your overdeveloped micro and aggression to get the win. This doesn't work as well in Orc Mirror, because it's mirror.
Makes sense.
And against Elf and Undead, that's pretty even. So you're just roughly even at your MMR. But this would explain the human-orc imbalance. I think we should address the most important matchups. You have 2 Night Elf opponents that are around your MMR for the tournament. The human opponents are, at the moment, still a little bit higher. It's also your best matchup. So I think we should focus on Orc or Night Elf. Orc, Red Panda, will be a feared opponent for you as well. Well, feared. A bit dramatic. It will be a worthy foe. But it's only 1 out of 7 instead of 2 out of 7.
Yeah.
So I recommend we start with Elf or Undead.
I agree with that. One question.
Yes.
How do you have dark mode on this website?
This right here. You pick the race.
I see you have it.
The teardrop here.
Pick the race? Oh.
So nice.
That's cool.
Really
of course,
cool.
human is white. Makes sense.
Human looks pretty good. Orc, for some reason, with my inverted dark mode, doesn't look that good. Because apparently I have dark modes on this website.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay.
I like how human looks.
All right. Night Elf, Undead. I feel like Night Elf, I usually struggle when we get to that's the matchup where I've probably gotten the most to those 7-day supply situations with bunch of bears and whatnot. And I need to get better at speed of scroll and quota bears eating and running back.
Yeah. Isn't it funny? You're 4-0 on Last Refuge and 1-7 on Hammerfall.
I don't find it funny, but...
No, it's not.
Like I said, that's against a specific race? Or...
Yeah, against Night Elf.
Ah, okay. Is Last Refuge like a good Night Elf map, or...?
No, it's not funny for that reason. Not because of any implied balance reasons. Just that you have such a big difference on the two maps.
Right.
I should check my own to see if it's the same for me. Let me see.
It's interesting how maps as well will... I mean, us beginners, or like from the tournament, I'm not sure if the map bans or picks will have any impact, but I guess it does in the end.
I think it will have an impact, but all of you are likely not fully aware of which maps are good for you. In fact, most of you don't even know the map names.
Yeah. I feel like I would look at my stats and be okay, against Night Elf, I have a great win rate there. But then it's like, on paper, maybe that map is not good for Orc against Night Elf.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, let me bring up the thing.
When will the prize pool be announced? Should be tomorrow or Sunday or Monday latest, I would say.
Wait, I thought the prize was to cuddle with Logan.
That's his prize.
Ooh.
You already got to do that. You're already a winner.
That's true actually. Also, one thing I do, I mess up my base layout quite often, I feel like. I think I've gotten better, but I still mess up.
Okay. Did I teach you build layout before?
You told me about like to clearly always keep the 4x4 tiles open, for example, and how the burrows are hard wall and such.
And to put one peon per burrow instead of all 4, and never to put gold peons in burrow except if they have a crisis event.
Yeah.
And then what about, do you do the semi-wall off here and then 1 or 2 gap opening here max?
I usually never try for a full wall off because I'm scared I mess up.
Don't do full wall off, but you want 1/2 of your base walled off like this.
Okay. Yeah. But my thoughts is, okay, if I wall off 1/2, I might accidentally wall off the other half. And
just don't.
Okay, I like the logic there.
Yeah.
You see, this guy puts his Voodoo Lounge on the front. Is it just because he's well versed in the game that he feels like he can justify it? Because to me, you told me to put the Voodoo Lounge more to the back.
This Voodoo Lounge, I always put it here as well, except against Pala Rifle. Basically, the shop costs 130 and 30, so it can be easily remade. But losing it at a crucial time can lose you the game, because sometimes when you're in your base, the only way to get instant reinforcement is to guzzle mana and healing potions.
Right.
Even if you were to make a walker, it'd come out 26 seconds later, and it matters right now what's happening. So having a shop in the front of your base that allows you to help defend extra is very useful.
Makes sense.
And also it cuts down on logistics as you ping pong back to your base to interact with it than if it were at the back.
Makes sense.
It's also completely normal to build now. It's been completely standardized to do 1/2 of the base wall off. The other half is altar against the woods. This is a worker gap, not a hero gap. Yeah. And then here you leave a 1 or 2 hex worker or a hero gap. Sorry, here you leave a 1 or 2 hex hero gap. By the way, even if altar touch Great Hall, you can still go with hero, so it's fine because they're both soft. And then the burrow is a bit exposed in this opening, which we don't really like. That's why we put the shop in front.
Makes sense.
And he made the shop touch the burrow, which creates a worker opening, but not a hero opening, which means if you wanted to attack this with grunts and blade, you could reach it with 1 blade and grunt here and 1 here. You also cannot travel behind it, so it feels a bit like a death trap. And in fact, a grunt that spawns outside of the racks would soon be able to surround a grunt here. So this feels unattractive to attack with large units. And then if you just make sure to always rotate 90 degrees on the first burrow, which is semi-exposed, aka the first burrow is on this side of the Great Hall and the next will be on this side, 90 degrees. So not opposite.
Yeah.
Then and you build all your burrows in this direction. Then they all cover each other with a leapfrog. And you keep this space open for a 4x4.
Yeah.
Bestiary will never do a full wall off against Great Hall. So as long as you just completely keep burrows outside of this area, you will never clog this route.
Okay.
Mirror Image or Windwalk against Night Elf?
I'm doing a mirror image I've been playing mirror the last 2 days essentially, and it feels better at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, easier, let's say, easier.
It is easier, yes. Okay, so he
I
built...
feel like also just...
Go ahead.
I just want to say I feel like as well just having those mirror also feels like the fights are way harder for my opponent, and I think that's more important than that it's easier for me.
Yep, I agree. I also only play mirror image the last year, but that's because mirror image has been newly buffed over the last few years, and I have a lifetime of experience with Windwalk, so I'm just gonna keep doing it. It feels really good against Night Elf.
Okay. But do you think it's stronger?
I think it's stronger.
Okay.
Like Cash here has more MMR than me with Orc. He's one of the best Orcs in Europe since 2006. The moment he has more. He was one of my main practice partner, Orc Mirror. I see he's playing Windwalk against Night Elf. I don't know if he really believes it. I see Lynn sometimes play Windwalk against Night Elf as well. It's fine to go mirror image. You don't need to copy everything the toppers are doing.
Yeah, of course. Copying pros at the moment could be a negative thing as well.
Yeah. You would have had that surround.
Yeah, he should get better at that.
This is game-losingly bad, kind of.
From...
Cash tried to do a greedy camp at the timing where Shadow comes out. So Orc Tech is usually a little faster. I think Orc Tech is about 210 with this opening. Maybe actually, yeah, 210, 215. Let me see. Yeah, 215 tech. Night Elf Tech. He's doing a 2 Moonwell Tech with his shop cancel and then a 10th Wisp at 22 out of 30 with a second Archer. I think this tech is 248 usually. Yeah, could have been 245. Okay. So these are both standard builds. He doesn't have the 3rd Moonwell.
I stand ready.
The tech difference is 30 seconds. So when your hero is out, his hero is halfway out. That means if your hero walks to the middle of the map, his hero is roughly out. And that means that you won't have any hero advantage if you attack, only if you fight on your half. So here you have Blade Shadow against just Demon when Shadow comes out. But if you run to his side, Keeper pops out the moment you get there.
But I mean, you only know that if you're scouting, right?
Yeah, but this is a standard tech timing from Night Elf.
Okay.
Your opponents might be slower, like Lakari, Loco, or anyone else, if they add the 3rd Moonwell, which is often done when people want either Warden or Immolation. And if it's a mana burn, they usually do double Moonwell. Now again, you're not going to scout this because Orcs don't scout. We can't really afford the income, but you roughly then know the timing. So if the enemy is going for a Tavern Hero, he gets his Tavern Hero at the same time that your hero comes out, or even before. So if someone, like you start your hero is halfway, suddenly a Naga could pop out, and he could run to you and start hitting things. So you need to just buy time and wait for your Shadow to come out. Anyway, not to go into too much detail. He is trying to prevent Demon from getting level 3. And he's kind of fighting illusions and stuff, while the Night Elf... I don't know why the Night Elf is even heading back. This was completely garbage. Maybe he thought Blade will run in and start attacking his Wisp. But he see... Oh yeah, that's probably what happened.
He knows it's there.
Yeah, it was like wind walked. Maybe he thought there's going to be a trick.
Yeah.
So Elf has vision, Elf has vision.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Elf has vision of Orc. Okay, he lost vision. Checks, are you taking my expo? You're not. So then Cash thinks... Maybe... Oh, he has to take care of the Demon. Why did he actually start that camp? That's crazy.
I think even I wouldn't have done that.
This is so crazy.
Yeah, that seems super greedy.
Does he even have Ultra Vision already? He has Ultra Vision. Oh, he rushed it. He got to tier 2 and immediately got Ultra Vision.
Safeguard the land.
Which gives all the units more...
Double vision from the enemy. You see how claustrophobic it looks? I think Cash assumed that he doesn't have Ultra Vision. And he knew that the item from this place was Illusion, which he had been dealing with for a minute. And so he thought, if I don't see you, you don't see me. Okay, that's why he tried it. It's a very valuable camp if you could snipe it. So that's minus mana burn, minus hex, minus mana burn. Shadow has no mana. And then Keeper shows up. First unit is a free kill. I say free, it's not entirely free because he's trading health off the Demon. That's bad entangle usually.
Well, he sold his TP, didn't he?
Yeah, most Orc. I saw you haven't started doing this. Always sell the TP.
I have started doing it.
Okay.
I've done it probably 90% of my games with Blade Master so far.
Ah, good. Because I just saw an Orc mirror from you that you played?
Yeah, I
Where you-
must have. It was my first game of the day. It's how it works.
He gets the Ring of the Archmagi. You know, Circlet is like a level up worth of attributes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is why we sell TP, because the earlier you get a bonus level up, the more it's worth. Like, you wouldn't buy a Circlet probably at level 6.
Makes sense. I can ask after this game.
So he's not pressuring because he wants Shadow level 3. Without Shadow 3, no cost efficient healing. My guess is he's going to take the Laboratory next because he wants Shadow 3. He will use Blade partially to DPS the level 6, but then walk away before sharing XP. Oh. Oh, he saw the Sentry. He saw the pool on the Troll 6. He doesn't want to give away another camp that's high value. But this is gnarly. You would not be able to do this. Steals the heal ward.
Oh, you got the items.
Heal ward can be sold for 240. Which means...
At my,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, at my level, I would never sell those. They feel so valuable for me.
Correct. I agree. You should never sell them. But it was I was building conclusions. So the heal ward can be sold for 240, which means that any player that keeps them believe their value is over 240, aka 241 or more.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Otherwise, you would sell it.
Why?
Either you think it is worth more than 240, or you think it's less than 240, or at. If it's at, then you flip a coin. If it's worth 239 to you, but you can sell it for 240, then you can earn 1 gold. And you'll be more ahead.
Can you purchase it on the shop
For 400?
Then isn't it kind of worth 400?
If you're asking whether you'll buy it, then you are comparing it to 400 gold. But if you're asking whether you'll sell it, it's compared to its selling cost of 60%, which means that it's worth 240 right now.
Supply and demand.
For instance, if I asked you now if you want to buy a heal ward when you already have one, it wouldn't be worth 400. But if you had all your units low and you were in the middle of the map, then maybe you would buy it, then it's worth 400. So then you would buy it and you wouldn't sell it because it's worth 400, which is 260 more than 240. Anyways, if you thought this item was not going to provide a value to you equal to 241 or more, then you would sell it now because then you can get something better for it.
Right.
Which means that you just stole 241 plus, whatever it is. If you even would have bought it if you could, then it's worth 400. But if you wouldn't buy it, but you wouldn't sell it, then it's worth between 241 and 399.
Makes sense.
Which means he could have had it too, and used the same reasoning, and now you have it if you stole it. So you just had a swing of 480 gold minimum, because he doesn't have it and you do have it.
That sounds pretty big.
Yeah, so stealing like an item and a creep can be extremely valuable when you take it away from an opponent. But yeah, you would need Windwalk for it.
Yeah.
So he didn't creep this, but now he has the item. I would say it's worth it. But now he doesn't want to commit to such a big camp anymore. So he's going to go to a simpler camp. This gets him level 2.95 if he doesn't share with Blade.
Oh, expanding as well.
Okay, it's a little risky. So, okay, this is a perfect situation. You talked before about 50 pop and whether you should creep, pressure, etc., whether you should expand. Expansions that are slow grade hole, not tiny, are options. Canceling it, you get 75% back. You're putting 385 gold in reserve, and you could get 290 back. The total loss will be just under 100, about 90 plus. And it's momentarily in reserve, which means that you are not getting the power spike that you otherwise could have. If you had 400, you could add a burrow and a Kodo right now. And then in 40 seconds, you'll have your Kodo with your army. And then soon after, you could go to 55. So that is pretty nice. So he's making an estimation that over the next 2 to 3 minutes, that he's not going to do a 55 food fight for his life.
Does the fact that he stole the item have anything to do with this decision making?
It might. Because you're constantly attenuating your perceived game state based on whether you think the game is going well or not. Losing Blade wasn't good, but then getting a Shadow to nearly level 3 without getting any additional follow-up losses is pretty nice. And then the item steal was nice. He's also happy with his Blade items, even though he lost his Blade once. He knew that Demon lost his TP, so he's going to be a little bit more careful with reckless moves. So he can't go in for a free kill. Elf can only run into Orc now if he thinks that he's going to have a decisive victory.
Right.
Expose.
Did the Elf here buy back TP?
No, generally people don't do that.
How often do you click the enemy heroes to check their items?
Not often enough. because I'm washed.
Okay.
But you should do it
Right,
all
right.
the time.
Makes sense. Okay, carry on.
Okay. Expos are forks in the road. He can either stop them or he doesn't. If he goes to them, that's travel time, and it pins him somewhere on the map. There are hot areas around quadrants in the map that still have a lot of creeps. So if you think of the top left quadrant, valuable orange camp with medium consume, valuable orange camp with a class +8 equivalent. This is a wand of mana steel camp, all valuable, lots of XP. This one drops class of attack +5 and illusion wand, and this drops unholy aura and a tome. All of it together is worth an insane amount of XP, and it is logistically in the same screen, almost.
Yeah.
Like you can see, if I had horizontal vertical view, then all of them would be no more than a screen away. So the top left is extremely valuable. Now let's think of the bottom right. One, but this one's missing. The big camp and this one. So bottom right, almost equivalent, but Cash knew he already took this away. So I would say that logistically, this is not a very clever expansion because the top left is more valuable than the bottom right. It has one more camp. If Cash now moved his whole army to the bottom right, he would get 3 camps and the elf would get 4 camps. It is no longer possible to contest the camp if you've already split the map. Once you walk to the lab, you are kind of committed to do these two as well, if you know your opponent is doing the same symmetrically top left.
So the only argument here the argument you're bringing forth there is that since this area is where it's likely that the opponent is creeping, the expansion is risky. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because...
But isn't it also...
if Cash decides to split the map and doesn't expand, he will get only 3 camps and the opponent get 4. Let alone that he got this before, it doesn't matter anymore. Because they already split the mid half. Okay, so Cash just cleared this. If he, from this point onwards, decides to split the map, he goes bottom right, elf goes top left. First elf will get all 4 camps and then seamlessly flow into a timing attack on the expansion before it pays off. Whereas if the bottom right was more valuable and elf was located just to begin this camp, this arachnid camp, then Cash can stay in the vicinity of his expansion, clear the more valuable corner, elf clears the less valuable corner, and would then have to walk halfway across the map to attack the expansion, where Cash would be in position because he's doing the top left.
But my thinking here would be that, okay, I'm expanding, but my army is still around. I can compete for the creeps. My army is there in case he just starts attacking me.
Yeah.
That to me sounds logically in my head that this is a good expansion because I'm there to defend it and compete for the creep.
Yeah, that's also true. And then the question is, in the inevitable engagement that you meet the Night Elf in, would that current instant Kodo now, which you could have done if you didn't expand, and the instant overburrow, which could lead to another 1 or 2 units, even if you only go to 53 or 56 pop, wouldn't that help you win the fight harder than if you have this skeleton army?
Which is why I sell my healing ward and buy a Kodo.
You could.
Okay, man, there's so many tiny, like such small, I don't even know how to say it, like expansion on paper sounds not overly expensive, right? Healing ward, let's say it's worth 300.
Yeah, 300.
If I sell it, I can just build a Kodo and I'm roughly fine at 50 supply anyway.
Yeah.
But if I don't sell the healing ward and I build Expo and don't have a Kodo, suddenly I'm like completely losing the fight potentially. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then the question is, if you use Healing Ward mid-combat, how much value is it likely to get? I've seen Invitational members completely ignore a Healing Ward the entire fight and almost lose an 80 versus 50 fight. But the expectation is they become more and more cognizant of that Healing Ward pulsing away healing in the back. That mid-fight healing is probably less good. Well, it's better to lick your wounds as an orc after the fight. Now, you bring up an interesting point. Let's say if there had been a bigger bank for Cash, and he's able to make the Kodo and an expansion. It might be good to do then, because even if you make Kodo and an overburrow, you still wouldn't be able to queue up the second Kodo yet. And then you might as well put excess resources into the expansion and make it an option. There are interesting moments where the bottom right of the map is already completely cleared out of creeps, and then you make an expansion there. Those are the really interesting expansions. Because the elf then has to decide, do I contest the rich top left with you, or do I cancel your expansion?
Decision making.
So I guess I overcomplicated it a little bit, but if you make an expansion, it is like a lightning rod of attention that forces an opponent to make a decision. Do I address it? Do I cancel it? Or do I creep somewhere else? The best expansions are in areas that are creep deprived because they create an imbalance in the opponent's movement that they need to go there. You could then just let your expansion be cancelled and creep somewhere else at the same time. So in your mind, when you make an expansion, you're either saying, I will defend this to the end. So this is what Cash is doing here. He's making an expansion and stays in the area to defend. It is a type of expansion where you believe that even if you have a skirmish, that one extra unit will not win you the game because Night Elf is going to staff, invul, walk away. You both take some bruising, and then you want the backup of bonus income afterwards. And I kind of agree that Orc needs an expansion to be cost efficient with Bear and Orb of Venom, because there are so much they heal for free with Moonwa and Bear, and we don't if you don't have Healing Ward, and therefore you want the extra money. So this is a make, expand, and defend it, and sometimes you'll make an expand and distract the opponent. Either you get the expo and you split the creeps in half, or they go for your expo, you get all the creeps.
Makes sense.
Now let's see what actually happens. He sees the Night Elf, but he sees the camp is already finished. So he does a safe pull towards the expo. Night Elf takes the second orange camp. You can say that this laboratory was mostly equivalent to the expansion. It's worth more actually, but I mean they traded one camp each, with Aspect getting the better camp. Now they trade camp again. Again, this camp is worth slightly less than this orange camp. And he's barely even daring to fight for it because he doesn't have a Kodo yet. He knows that 3 raiders cannot fight bears. So now he's down 2 camps. Now the red spot, completely uncontestable by Cash. He buys a TP. So now he's saying, I will create a positional imbalance for my opponent who has to walk back. And then I kill one Moonwell, he TPs, I TP. And then he goes back. And then the expo will be running, but not paid off yet. Yeah. Now where does that leave Cash? It leaves Cash in his base when Elf is in his base. He would then want to take this camp, which is nearest him and valuable. But in doing so, if Elf is instant and beelines for the expansion, he won't be able to defend the expansion. So 1 camp for 3. 3 valuable camps go to Elf, 1 to Cash. And now he's trying to start hit and run, trading double income, projected income. He's trying to trade double income TPs. So if he could do this over and over, he would. TP, Elf TPs, he buys another TP, takes this camp, and then runs at the bottom of the map to Elf base. And then he wants Elf to TP again. And maybe he lets his expo finish, maybe he doesn't. If Elf gets there. That's kind of what Cash wants to do. But I feel maybe he already gave up that he can't win the fight, even with the extra Kodo. That might be why he never considered even to contest the top left. What do you think?
I mean, I would be scared of the bears, but I'm also not Cash. In a straight up fighter, I would feel like the army of the Night Elf is way stronger.
I think so too. Maybe because he lost Blade and lost some money because of it. He thought, even if I get to 50, it's not good enough. Usually you need a 55 orc army minimum to beat a 50 foot Night Elf bear army. You want to be 55 to 60 because Kodos are not good in small numbers. There's no point having 1 grunt, 3 Kodo, and 2 walker because you have no lockdown. So the base skeleton of the army forms from 2 walkers minimum, 2 raiders minimum, and then ideally 1 or 2 grunts. That's like the bare minimum. From then on, you could add Kodos. That's why we make this pit stop at 46 population with the standard tier 2 army, which is fast produced, moves fast, not slow like a Kodo, and has all kinds of utility. You fit in a Kodo to slot to 50, and then any over money, as you prepare the over burrow, it's always a Kodo and a walker. Kodo and a walker. So you go from 50 to 56 with the second Kodo and the 3rd or 4th walker. And basically from being over 50, you're ready to fight Elf. And I think in Cash estimation, he could not reach 55 or 57 fast enough to contest top left. So he just gave up on it.
Makes sense. So he's trying to play more of a maneuverability game.
Yep.
Force the Night Elf to react, and then he can catch up afterwards.
Yeah. So here, ignore the Ancient of War, get the Moonwell.
Okay.
Question.
Does it make sense here? So in this case, in Cash's spot, you'd probably never want to go to tier 3.
Correct. You over tier 3 in general too much in all of your games.
Okay. Yeah,
But
makes sense.
sometimes I also see other invitational opponents, like not your invitational opponents, the opponents of invitational opponents. They play against like
Right.
weird builds where some dude goes tier 3, gets
Yeah.
Bloodlust, and then it actually works well. I mean,
Yeah.
it depends what you want to be. You want to do some surprising strats. You want to ask me some surprising strats off stream as well. It's possible. I've given this before to other invitational members. Some either some cheese or some deep tech. It's all possible. Or are you like still in the phase where you're practicing fundamentals? In that case, tier 3 is usually not a part of that.
Okay. I'm fundamentals, but I mean, like, tier 3 seems to be ingrained in some builds with Berserkers, right? So
Correct.
in some cases, I'm going tier 3
Yes.
anyway.
But Grunt Raider,
Yeah.
what does this get out of tier 3? Can you think of 3 great things you get out of tier 3? There are great things, but can you think of them?
Well, the third tier 3 attack upgrade,
Okay.
tier 3 armor upgrade.
Those are at the bottom of the priority
Oh,
list.
there's more?
Yeah. No, they are really, really far below because they cost like 300.
Well, are there any upgrades that, I mean, like, so not direct upgrades for these, but benefits from other units in tier 3?
Do you
Or
want
do
me?
Raiders and Grunts have
Do
their own?
you want me to answer it? I can answer it too. What the best things are about
No,
tier
no.
3? Or are you
I
keen
mean,
to guess?
are you talking about Raiders and Grunt in specific now, or tier 3 in general?
What Orc gets when they're not spamming Berserkers?
Well, you can get Bloodlust Shamans. You can get the Orb of Lightning for the Blade Master. So that Orb of Lightning is probably the key.
Yeah.
You
Lightning
can
is
buy
where-
Tiny Great Hall.
Yep.
And that's it. Orc sucks.
Kodo drums
Coda Drums. Yeah.
goes from 10% buff to everything to 20% buff. It's like a clause of attack for your heroes and an attack upgrade for all your units. Not too bad.
Obviously, third hero can be an option if you go tier 3.
Yep, so that's pretty much the list. Tiny Great Hole, Lightning Orb, third hero, Kodo drums. Those are
Right.
the best. And then you've got other things like Deep Tech Bloodlust, Deep Tech Healing Ward from Witch Doctor, Master Training Walkers can be nice, Burning Oil Catapult. You've got Headhunter with Berserker upgrade. And then finally, all the way at the bottom, 333 upgrades.
I thought initially we were asking what Raiders and Grunts get. And I was like, I could only think of upgrades.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's true.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all they get.
I know upgrades aren't as important as in my Age of Empires, for example.
Yeah.
Does he have
Okay.
pillage here?
Most likely it's halfway done. Yeah, it's always
right.
halfway done. Oh, I knew it. I knew it.
But he's planning to come back, so it's fine.
No, nope, he'll never come back.
Oh, really?
I mean, the meme is orcs are always halfway done when they do the first building kill because they can't. That's how long it takes. You need pre-planning to make it work. It takes too long. He would have got 90 gold, 20 wood from this, and it cost 75.25. He would have earned it back.
It's actually crazy how good it is if you get free kills on buildings.
Oh wait, it wouldn't be 90 because Blade did some damage. Blade doesn't pillage. But yeah, he would have earned it
Right.
back. It is actually crazy good, yes. So he just walked
Hey,
away.
he's coming back.
If he had speed scroll, he could run away even faster. But he's gonna come back because he knows he now has bonus money. Aspect is making a big mistake camping here. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but I mean,
Oh, he's scared of him coming back.
yeah, but does he even know? He doesn't know.
Ah, he never scouted it.
He's like, oh, okay, I see.
Now he will realize.
I think he forgot pipe, so he just picked it up because he hastily TP'd. So what is he doing now? He's making more bears while camping AFK. And no TP.
Has he not learned about ABC?
No ABC. Always ABD. He skipped the C. Always be defending.
He's just building up the final piece of his army to go kill him, right?
Yep. He wanted to go over 50.
Yeah.
So Cash has TP. He was never forced to use it. So that's really interesting because he knows there's an attack coming. Because he has grabbed the win condition of an expansion. He was behind in items, levels, and army quality. But now his expo is running for a little bit. And because he forced a TP and killed a Moonwell, that's minus 180, minus 325 for the TP. Well, not exactly, because Night Elf didn't rebuy it, so it's more like the sell value of the TP was removed, 190. Somewhere between 191 and 324. But now, because he has TP, he's allowed to creep anywhere rather than needing to play Pong against the ball of the attack. So he can literally go for the furthest, most valuable creep camp, get it, and then use the power that he gets from it. And he would have to...
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, when I've expanded, I've usually built a burrow here or two for my peons. I guess that doesn't make sense because it's if they get destroyed, they lose supply as well.
Correct.
But I see he's building a voodoo lounge here. So the shop is kind of the defense mechanism that you have your heroes there. You can quickly reinforce with shop.
Yes, but it was in a bad position. It was stupid to build it here. He should build it right here.
Okay.
Because he wanted it here in case he will take a fight from here to here. But timing-wise, it was never going to complete on time because he knows Elf has to attack. So it's just going to get cancelled. The burrow doesn't do anything against such a large army. It doesn't even win against one bear that gets taken out of the group and left there. It can feel like a nice defense against 2 ghouls or 2 footmen or 1. Well, actually, footmen have defense upgrade. But against 2 ghouls, it's really nice. And it's nice against single hero harass with staff, because you can put them in and hide them and it's going to last quite a while. Doesn't do too much in a significant fight like this. And I think he's always considered the possibility of sacking the expansion so long as it gives him the rest of the map in creeps.
Makes sense.
If he didn't have TP and he was forced to TP, he would either have to camp here for the inevitable elf attack with level 2.9 blade, or he could give up the expansion and creep the entire bottom right, trading the expo for the other corner, which would also be decent.
Right. He's just taking the red camp, getting the item, and then trying to defend.
Yeah, and he had 2 places he could TP to. Here, so that he could pre-deploy properly, but then he would be maybe forced to fight in the choke. He went for a more open location, and Elf didn't want to get TP'd on top of. But I don't think there was a lot of reason for the Night Elf to go back. Like, if you're not willing to take this fight, then what are you going to take?
Yeah, he's on the timer.
Okay, he brought wisps. So yeah, fight micro. In these kind of fights, I've noticed you lose some overview.
Yeah, it has happened. I would agree with that.
Yeah. How many control groups do you use? How would you group this?
First, just one question before I forget.
Yeah.
When wisps come flying in, do I just let them do their thing?
I mean, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Okay.
It's really hard to get enough damage, and the better they are, the more they will detonate at 20% life.
Right.
So you may not get the XP, your whole army is fighting little wisps of light while bears are mauling you.
Makes sense. Alright, so control groups wise, I usually have one control group for range units, so I would mix like berserkers with walkers, for example.
Well, let's say specifically this army.
This army, okay. I would have grunts, raiders, my heroes, and kodos on 1, and then spirit walkers on 2.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I also put raiders on 3 as well, in case I need to quickly grab an ensnare.
Yep. It's good enough.
And obviously heroes, F1, F2.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Okay.
That's one of the 2 formats that I would use. The other one
is the kodo is also a range unit. So if I have let's say I eat a bear, does it make sense pull it back and put it on control group 2 and remove it from 1 so it's not in the front line anymore? Or is it a waste of like micro attention?
Yeah, it's the recontrol grouping the kodo during fight I think will be very difficult to do.
Right.
Because you have to remove it, re-overwrite 1, and then add it to the second group. I sometimes group like this. Blade Shadow Grunts in 1, Raider Kodo in 2, which allows me to press 2 and do ensnare, and then tap, devour. That can be nice sometimes.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And also Kodos, when they're in the same group as your melee, it makes surrounds harder.
Makes sense.
Does it?
Does it not? They keep interfering with the pathing of the, in quotes, faster units.
Yeah, that too. But it also feels like it changes the hitbox clicking accuracy when you try to click an enemy unit, because it's very strange, but there's something happening where having a Kodo in the group makes your clicks less accurate when you're trying to surround or click an enemy. Yeah.
Is that true? Why would that have anything to do with that?
I think the Kodo is so big that it thinks of everything as bigger. Not a programming explanation, but just try doing a surround with the MMM left click with and without Kodo in private practice or on your own unit, and I assure you it will feel very different. That's why. But yeah, here in this fight, you're not really gonna do surrounds with M-click anyway. You would sooner do plus, like where you move this grunt manually here and this raider manually here, that kind of thing. Yeah. You know Hex drops threat?
Hex drop threat, like if it's using an ability, Hex will remove it?
No, if you Hex the demon, auto attack no longer targets the Hex target ever.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah. I did not know that, but that makes sense.
Okay, so if you had a demon that's 100 life, and you auto attack with all your army, and all of it happens to go to demon because he's in front, and then you hex him, all your army will instantly stop
will
attacking.
de-aggro.
Yeah.
Right.
So you must combine a hex together with a pre-right click or a post-right click on him to make sure that...
So if I pre-right click and they have not engaged yet and I hex, will they still go to him?
Yes, they will. It's still treated as the same unit, so they remember their command.
Right.
It's only the free fire at will Pepega aim A move that ignores low threat targets, which a sheep is.
I would agree with that. Can't blame them.
Yep. So it's good behavior, but it means that you have to pre-click or post-click very near the hex to make sure that you keep killing off a low unit. I don't know if you've had this problem before, where you're like, your whole army is killing a demon, there's an archer behind, you hex him, and suddenly you wonder why he's not getting attacked, and then, oop, he got stabbed.
I'm sure that's happened, yeah. Can I see the supply of the Night Elf here? Just quickly. Oh, it's only 55.
I don't know how that happened.
That feels very low.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. He should be making 2 Dryads. He has money for it, which means he's 61, but it's not all here. But neither is the 69. So, okay. Yeah, groups is good. So you can use your control group 2 to target bears. There is a massive difference in whether you're auto-attacking with walkers or targeting this bear. Because if you auto-attack, it'll go to this demon.
Yeah. I want to do magic damage against heavy.
Yeah. Kodo, the faster it eats, the better. Ideally with a speed scroll in and out.
Yep.
Make sure you're pre-linked. Raiders should never be directly hit by bears. If they are, they have to be pulled back with your control group 3. Grunts do good damage on heroes. They're one of the few damage types that's not reduced when attacking heroes.
Yeah.
And
I feel like more often I will just A-move my grunts, or they will be like A-move and left alone, more often than not.
that's fine. That's fine. It's fine if they attack anything.
One question, if I have a Kodo on the left side here, let's say all his bears are on the right, and it will be awkward for me to get to the right.
Just eat a dryad.
Should I still... Okay, so it's still then worth it to just eat something else.
Yeah. I think eating Dryad is quite nice too. It digests a lot faster, and Dryads bring a lot to the Night Elf. I think it's worth it positionally as well.
Okay.
This Demon Hunter has no immolation. Otherwise, this fight would be infinitely more complex for the Orc because of everything is surrounded around it.
Yeah.
I don't know why the fuck he used Invul. That was terrible. This is essentially he hexed himself. He has made himself not a threat target, which means all the walkers instantly default to attacking the correct unit. So Aspect spend money on making Orc micro better automatically without effort.
Very kind of him.
Very kind. Got a bear eat. This one also ate a bear. You asked, should you do anything about the wisp? Sometimes you can take a box, try to kill a wisp, but it draws you out of position so much and away from other attack targets. Usually it's best to just kind of let it happen. The best thing I'll try to do is to split my walkers left and right so they don't all get...
makes sense.
Wisp are very OP, but it does put him a little bit more all in because Lortec needs a lot of wood, and so he can usually only do this once.
Okay. It is a now or never type of thing for him.
Yeah. Now the walkers are attacking the demon again, which it's going to happen to everybody, but it is very not ideal. One thing you can do with the demon is by far the biggest DPS of the Night Elf army. So any number of ensnare you do while forcibly moving your units out of his range is a massive, massive victory. All the best Orc victories against Night Elf bear style in the post 50 phase is where you can continually every 3 seconds ensnare the demon out of position, like with no one touching him. Treat him like a leper.
Yeah, I understand that. Makes sense.
Disenchants to remove Roar can be valuable, especially if they don't have Mark of the Claw upgrade, which allows Druids of the Claw in bear form to use Roar. Roar is a game-winning item, and they have it on a spell. 25% damage is 2 attack upgrades. So yeah, sometimes can be
essentially good. Scroll of the Beast as a spell.
Yeah. Also, you want to remove... Very important.
Is there a very clear, easy way to see that they have? I see on the left one, there's a red burning bar or thing over the left bear. Yeah. I guess that's Roar.
Yeah.
And Rejuvenation.
Rejuve is...
How do I know that they have?
It's like swirling waves of fog around someone.
Okay.
I can show you, but he's not going to do it this fight.
Well, I would say this Night Elf is pretty wrecked.
Yep. Demon almost completely ignored. I think even this focus fire on Demon is wrong.
Right, because the bears are so low as well.
Yeah.
Just snipe the bears and take it from there.
He got staffed, which means it was wrong.
It was a very good example of how a potentially tricky situation was just completely well managed in his favor.
By the elf?
No, if you go back all the way, and like when he
Oh,
just
yeah.
expanded, like how he just maneuvered the whole situation in his favor.
Yeah, it's true.
Albeit the Night Elf never scouted the expansion, which could have changed things, but
True.
it was still nice to see the decision making here.
The Expo was the game winner because he was behind in levels and he couldn't contest the valuable camp despite being logistically close to it. So the Expo won in the game in addition to the TP displacement on the Night Elf. And then Elf made a number of unforced errors which made him miss the window of punishment. Upgrade wise, he has 1 armor. Usually attack upgrades, not that valuable. I don't know if you get it usually.
More often than not, I have played into headhunters, so I could get attack upgrades for them sometimes.
That makes sense. They need it. But Grunt Raider, it's like the best damage here is heroes and walkers.
Right.
Raiders are not going to kill bears, no matter how many attack upgrades they have. It will always come down to CC and the blades and walkers attacking. So armor.
In this case, he has 6 walkers, and I feel like because there's so many bears, that's probably justifiable.
Yep. Probably more than you usually have. Yeah, mana pots on Shadow are great for post mana burn, heal waves.
Yeah.
Can't have enough in this stage.
I also noticed he didn't use Hex once this whole engagement. It was only heal.
Yep, I heard you talk about that as well with chat on the Orc Mirror. Hex is 70 mana, Dryad Abolish 50. At this level, they're expecting I Hex you abolish bad trade for mana.
Right.
You see how Demon still nearly killed the whole army?
Yeah. Oh, the Demon is the one that once he gets level 6, it's like better than a 70 supply army, or was it?
Yes.
Okay.
You
So
should
note to self, don't let the Demon get 6.
You should see one of Red Panda's games. He had 80 pop, 5-4-3 Farseer Shadow TC, 80 pop, Tauren and Wyvern with upgrades. He was against 1 Demon Hunter, nothing else, and he lost the fight 3 times in a row.
What? No other unit whatsoever, just Demon Hunter.
Just Demon. But it was level 10, so to be fair.
Okay. That's pretty solid, but still crazy.
Yeah. We should look at one more replay, not nearly as slowly.
Let me just quickly run to the bathroom.
Yep, I'll look for a replay.
Give me 2 minutes. Yep.
Cucaracha. Cash Cucaracha. Who's Cucaracha again? Lemus. Ah. Yo! Haha, lost the Palo rifle. Got him. Oh, this one could be good. Human, though. Do we watch the Muslim Cash? Kevin? When was this Red Panda game? One of his first, I think maybe like one of his first 30 games. Towards the end of that. A lot of interesting... Hey, maybe Orc Mirror. Ah, good. This will be useful for Viper too. Even though he only has 1 Orc opponent. And here's one against Craft too. Maybe we'll get that too. Sir, Tyler 1 has dropped below 1400. What shall we do in this time of peril? He can handle himself. Maybe later I can take a look. Tyler 1 was inflated, told it yesterday. We'll see. Hi, follow Cassandra. Hey Grubby, when coaching Loco yesterday, he told him to attack with his Ancient of War onto his base to drop aggro. Is there a reason why he can't just attack any archer? Yeah, he can attack his own archer. If that's faster. Eventually it will hit though. I love Orc Mirror, man.
A player's forces are under attack.
I fell asleep last night to watching Tracking Tyler 1. Actual stalker. Yeah. It's okay, I didn't break any laws. Yet.
Right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Dankeschön. Did you find another replay?
Yep, I pre-watched this a little bit.
Ooh.
Orc Mirror, we will watch the better Orc, Cash.
Mm-hmm.
Slightly better. No diss to the other, just higher MMR.
Is the other named Grubby?
Nope. But
Ah,
he is higher than me, so it would stick. Why did he build like this? Let me see the other guy's base. This guy is
that one
following...
makes more sense.
Yeah, this makes more sense because it's a wall off. You make the second burrow here eventually. If one of the orcs comes in with level 1 blade, with or without 1 item, he could do a cancel on this burrow post-tech. Oh, he made a pre-tech burrow. Okay. So he has experienced one too many times that someone came in and cancels his burrow post-tech, because his tech would start roughly now at 216, and then his burrow would start roughly now, right, when his tech is actually starting, same money. So his burrow is now 70%, but his tech is 20 seconds later. 20 seconds later tech, 20 seconds faster burrow, or whatever.
Okay.
And
the purpose of that is purely to get the second hero faster.
Fast tech is for fast second hero, yes. And so if you look at this Blade, Blade took 2 creeps here and is working on the 3rd. But if he had taken 1 creep, walked back to a shop, heal solve, run over to this side of the map, and this burrow is right now 1% because it just starts, Blade would already be halfway. He gets here when burrow is 30, 40, 50%. You get to cancel, you prevent second grunt forever. And you keep doing this cancel burrow over and over and over. Really fun for us to try, by the way, against Orc. When that happens, the defender needs to come in with the dust and do war mill blocks here to keep him in the base.
Oh yeah, true. The quick walls.
Yeah, you remember that.
Yeah.
So Cash is actually vulnerable to that. If we see where this blade is, he only did 2 of the 3 creeps, so that's even more than 1.
We're under attack.
Moves across. We keep extrapolating where his blade would have been by moving the camera gradually. Bam.
Yeah.
Okay, so he could cancel this, but Cash has made his grunt stay here on one of the gaps, so that if blade shows up and attacks, and the grunt is here, and his blade is coming back here at the same time, that for that standard timing, he would be able to attack the blade. And there will be a cancel, but he's going to hit the blade a lot. So he would have to deal with that. Yeah. And there's no way to lock him in. Whereas if this had been the layout, it would be a little easier for the orc to defend. That's why we built it like this. Okay, none of this happened, so let's go on.
A player's forces are under attack.
Orc Mirror is all about smoke and mirrors. So he's using Grunt to track the location of where green is. And meanwhile, he's sending his blade across, farmed his Slippers of Agility camp here. Doesn't cost too much health, because the slime on this map is called Autumn Leaves, only has 340 life and no armor.
Okay. So he goes in there, just picks up the unit with the item, and then leaves the others.
Yep, because this skeleton, 4 armor.
Right.
And doesn't have the slippers. So you want to get a sick inventory. It looks like Cash purchased the circlet for 200 gold and is now getting another creep. Gets a gauntlet of strength. And it looks like TSO also wanted this slime. So shows up here and steals a level 1. Cash went to finish the rest, but it was stolen. Now he's going to get dust probably. Oh, he got circlet. Okay, so they both got a circlet purchase. Pretty much mirror idea. Just from watching this, you can start doing the same as well in Orc Mirror in a blade matchup. I don't know how often you have 2 blades in your games with Windwall. Not often.
It has happened a few times, yeah. Okay.
Well, you don't have to model your play after this. I guess we're looking for decision making. So
yeah. I mean, I will watch like some of the more high-level players as well.
Sure.
And I might even watch you as well.
Oh, okay. Well,
but most of the other high-level players.
Just try to balance it out with some actual high levels.
Exactly.
Tier 2, Shadow, Bestiary, Totem in a safe alcove. You want that one cancelled the least. Because people start with grunts. Walkers defend very well against grunts. Whereas
one question in a situation like this. Yeah. Is it ever worth it for me to add a war mill to just get armor?
No.
Or do I only add it if I want to make a grunt, for example? Not a grunt, Kodo.
Kodo. You get war mill between 37 and 43.
Okay.
It's
With
terrible.
the purpose of
to
a Kodo.
It's terrible to get a war mill now, actually.
Okay.
You first want to get Raider and Snare,
Mhm.
and then Walker, and then second Raider, second Walker, and then it's time for Kodo.
Okay.
The Kodo has permataunt for creeps. So every ranged creep attacks the Kodo first. Kodo has 0 armor and is unarmored, so he takes 50% bonus from Pierce. So if you use Kodo normally and unskillfully, which most people, they just walk into camps and attack,
Yeah.
then the Kodo will take
That's why.
bonus damage.
Yeah, I've had the Kodo be like come out of a creep with like half HP, and I'm wondering what the hell happened here.
As permataunt for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you think it's like their unarmored range status, it's not. Because doctors, shamans, walkers don't get treated the same way. It's the Kodo in particular. It has taunt.
I mean, it's big. It looks a bit scary. It does make sense.
It makes sense. It's a buff unit with no armor. Okay, usually it's Hex first, Blade 3.
Oh, he bought the Healing Priest, right?
No,
Forest Troll Berserker. Oh, it's just Berserker.
the
Okay.
3-pop Berserker. Yeah, then Blade level 3 each. This is kind of the high-level Orc meta, but most people don't play this that well. You've got a lot of Orc mirrors that people go mirror image. They do Blade Headhunter, Farseer Headhunter. There's all kinds of styles. This proper style of Blade 3 Rush with spam items and then Fast Shadow with 1 burrow tech. I think it's a bit more unusual. So yeah, this game is not that valuable. But I have another game
I
against.
think
Undead.
opening is still like opening is not that important, right? But decision making once we reach 50.
Yeah.
Like right now, for example, I would be like, okay,
So you see how
what's my purpose?
the mill got made at 40? It was like mill, then the second Raider, second Walker. So he'll have exactly enough to Kodo into 50, which is ideal.
Right.
But it's a little late because his Raider, when his Raider finishes, actually it's pretty good. It's great. Okay, they kill each other's shadow. Should already be bringing peons now, actually. You have 187 lumber, 7 peons, fight on your half of the map. It's going blow for blow. You should pull 4 peons, drop their lumber and move them into
Nice,
your
so you
army.
want... Yeah, because the orc I played did pull peons. And I was like, oh, happy days. He thinks he's going to lose, so he's just like doing an all-in defense.
Yeah, no, it's not.
That's
it's
what
just
I
extra.
thought.
Yeah, it's just extra.
Right.
Why not? You know?
Well, I was thinking like they would be weak because they're just workers, right?
Correct.
Like you have human, if they become foot like those militia, they're strong. But as peasants, they're weak.
Yeah, they're very weak.
I guess peons are stronger.
They're very weak, but it's still better than nothing. He made a mistake. Maybe he's like he knows he's gonna win anyway. He's lazy. He forgot. But he should have 4 peons. There's no reason for him to go from 400 lumber to 700. It doesn't do anything.
Right.
He should have, based on this lumber count, he should pull 6 peons right now. One of them makes shop,
Okay.
one of them makes tower, and the other 4 are spirit linked and fighting.
Okay. Well, yeah, that will be included in the spirit link.
Yep,
True.
very good. Very, very good.
Yeah.
If you look at this army he has here, and it's all spirit linked, every unit gets about 8% damage from primary target.
Okay.
If there's 12 units, every other unit gets like 8% damage. So if you bring another 4 peons, the 8% drops to like 6%. So it's really good.
In this situation, when is it worth for me to get the Spirit Walker upgrade so I can disenchant his Spirit Link?
Usually 2 walkers and then upgrade should become your habit.
Okay.
Very sometimes you will do 1 walker into upgrade, and also it's never wrong to do it that way. Walker, upgrade, walker.
Yeah.
Never. You only upgrade the upgrade before your first walker if you're supply blocked, like you fucked up, and then you use the
Makes
walker
sense.
upgrade time to cover the supply block. But yeah, it's either 1 or 2 walkers into walker upgrade should be good.
Okay.
It also gives. It brings you from 200 to 300 mana. Did you know that?
I think I read that it increases your mana, so
And
I didn't know the exact numbers.
And they get bonus health as well, and bonus health and
Yeah.
mana regen. So you get it even
I
if
mean,
you
it's
were.
never bad.
Yeah, you would get it even if you were never gonna disenchant at all.
But it feels like it makes sense to like get to 50 supply first and then do it there if you can.
No, you get it before. You get it at like 40, 43.
But I wouldn't... Oh, so you would prioritize it before production of the remaining supply?
Correct. The reason is, if someone farms Book of the Dead, Wand of Cyclone, Scroll of the Beast, and you don't have it, you could lose the whole game because of it.
Right.
And in fact, if you go into a fight and you've got a choice, 2 Spirit Link or 1 Disenchant, You first click his heroes. If you see Book of the Dead, don't link.
Okay.
It's not. You're not always gonna remember clicking it, but this is the foundational knowledge of it.
Right.
Okay, I think this game will be extremely useful for us. You open
Okay.
like this sometimes, right?
You need to show me your screen to be able to
Oh my god.
tell. I think it closed whenever you rebooted it. A replay.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. You closed it again, just FYI.
Oh, I had 2 of the same replay open at different game states. Sorry.
Okay, okay. Let me just pop it out.
This is Farseer. You see it, right? Okay, so you open like this sometimes too, right?
What's the matchup here?
Orc Undead, Farseer Headhunter.
Yeah, I do.
2 burrow. Okay, then let's take a look. Where would you go?
So if he is undead, I would expect him to either go for a fast expansion, aka he might go to the green, then the gold potentially, or straight to the gold even maybe.
Okay.
So maybe I should split here, send like wolves straight forward, and maybe the Farseer top left to the right.
And if the wolves make it to his base, you see Ziggurat, no Nerub, no upgraded Nerub, upgrading. You see altar, crypt, and shop. But you see 1 ghoul mining at home, 5 acolytes. What do you do with the wolves?
I would probably just run in and attack the acolytes.
Okay, wolves run in, attack the acolyte. Farseer walks here, gets to the expansion, sees nothing. Where does Farseer go next?
I would continue to the right towards the base of my opponent.
Okay, you're walking here, seeing if he's on the green camp. You find him there.
Right?
Okay, I like this. I think this is good so far.
Okay. I felt so much pressure.
Ooh, the pressure was mounting, right?
Yeah, the questions are so like I'm like, oh god, if I get this wrong.
You would actually do that?
Yeah, okay. Okay.
No, I like it. It's good reasoning. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so he's super assuming Expo looks like. Does the same as you, except for the wolf split.
I mean, I think this is easier to do as well. Probably just send everything together. But yeah, I think it makes more sense to split.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense to split. I think what he was banking on is if he finds an undead here immediately, then he can use his first wolves in conjunction. Secondly, if he sends wolves in alone, undead knows that he branched off Farseer alone to another location.
True.
But that Farseer couldn't be creeping because he hasn't got his wolves with him. So he's sending a diminished threat while giving info. I have a Farseer that's also looking for something I'm scared of. So what would Farseer be scared of? For undead to be expanding. Therefore, 2 wolves coming in here alone means what for undead? You're probably at my expansion, which gives him a guarantee of when Farseer will then soon show up. So Cash has he has maximized his strength into the most scary direction, aka super fast expo, while keeping everything together. Yeah. It also means that if there's a Dreadlord Ghoul fast expansion, he can't get surrounded without the help of wolves to wake himself up or anti-body block.
Right.
Turin sometimes plays Dreadlord fast expansion. If we did what you just said, Thrall shows up here alone. If he reacts fast, boom, sleep. You don't have wolves for anti-body block. In fact, you couldn't resummon them when their wolves are here in timer. You could just lose TP instantly. Could be game-losingly bad.
I can resummon them when they're halfway done? Ish?
Yeah. This is 60, this is 30, and 30 is the cooldown for summoning. Okay. So, where do you think the undead is?
Well, I would imagine the green creep straight down.
It was a trick question. You can see from the fire that the hero is still producing. Sorry.
Trick question.
My bad.
That's mean. That's mean, actually.
Got him.
And then evil laugh as well. Okay.
Shit.
Okay, wait, so he opens. So this is a late hero, but he gets fast fiends.
Yeah. This is an opening of Crypt Graveyard into Altar into Zig with a super late hero. Kraft is a weird player.
Okay.
He's good, but off meta.
I respect that.
Okay, you would have probably done similar when someone is camping base.
Well, I would say so, yeah.
Creep around here. You probably would not
take whatever
try
is
this.
on his half. I would probably think this is too soon, yeah.
Yeah, but very valuable then to see, showing it's not. He did aggro toggle with 1 wolf onto the other to make sure 1 wolf doesn't die too fast. Now he should aggro toggle both of them away, or he could let them die and resummon. I think he's going to resummon. 2 sets of wolves, truly incredible. He made the range creep aggro toggle on Farseer because hero armor takes less from piercing while letting the wolves tank the melee. But I think he's deliberately...
Why is he not? Okay.
Go ahead. Why is he not finishing?
My question is, why is he not finishing it? Yeah, but I guess he will. Look,
No, he's not going to finish it. I think he has become afraid because he hasn't seen tier 2 that there's a Crypt Lord, Fiend, Expo attempt.
okay.
He probably thought you're doing this and then you're going to move left. And that's true.
He was right.
Yeah. Maybe not Expo, but at least farming it.
So in this case, he thinks it's more valuable to go and disrupt the expo than get in the last.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know how valuable it'll be because Impale is ready. There's lots of summons. Krav is not exactly weak. Yeah. I don't know if it's worth it. He became paranoid and he wanted to look.
Okay. Does he know that? What was it? Krav? Knaf?
Krav.
Krav. Does he know that Krav is a weird player?
Yes. Everybody knows it.
Okay, then I'll allow this decision making more.
Okay. Krav was rank 1 Reign of Chaos 15 years after TFT came out. I'm still stuck on Reign of Chaos. That's like playing AoE 2 the way it came out without any new civs on a private server.
Brutal. Game Ranger? Or is that too of public?
I don't know what that is. Game Ranger?
What? You don't know what Game Ranger is?
No.
You're joking now, right?
No, I'm serious. I've never heard of it. Or at least no retention of it. I never used it, that's for sure.
Okay. I'm not sure if I'm sensing sarcasm or not.
No, I'm serious. We used Garena, Hamachi, GG Client.
Yeah, how much?
Yeah.
But you never heard of Game Ranger?
No, I mean, that's probably
Okay.
some Microsoft AoE stuff.
No, there's tons of games there.
But are there Battle.net games?
That I don't know.
You know, I've been a Battle.net junkie for a long
that's-
time before I opened my third eye.
You're a Battle.net extremist, I got it.
Yep.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Thank you.
Actually, I have some people in my chat saying what's Game Ranger as well, but I think they're trolling me, so I don't know. But it doesn't matter. Okay.
I don't know if you'll face Crypt Lord's Graveyard. Like Crypt Lord's Crypt
I have
Fiend.
faced Crypt Lord a few times, but I
Isn't
don't remember the Fiend being so fast,
No.
like that early.
You're gonna face a lot of Crypt Lord's Ghoul expansion, so I feel like it'd be more
Yeah.
useful to load up a replay where that happens than
But does that
this.
impact the decision making past
Great.
40 supply-ish?
No, I guess not. Let's go there then.
Yeah.
Okay, TC tier 3. Why is he going tier 3? I have no idea. I would go against Crypt Lord Fiend. I would get after these Headhunters. I would get Raider Walker to dispel the Beatles.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's just
Stay tier.
he's just ignoring them, the Beatles.
Maybe Cash is a bit weird as well.
Maybe he's tried Walkers and has run into Destroyer timings too often. Feels like it overemphasizes the dispel component and underemphasizes the making your own stable late game army, which Walkers usually are not a part of against Undead because Destroyers counter them so hard.
Yeah.
I think that's what's happening. The same reason I recommended you to not make casters against human and just go Headhunter Raider. He's doing the same thing. Headhunter Raider Kodo.
Yeah. One question here. He used the Scroll of the Dead for creeping.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Considering that I got flamed hard for using one health potion for creeping, I feel like this is not something I should do.
Flamed hard. I wrote. Wait, let me check. Let me see.
Okay.
Hey,
Wasn't as bad as horrible, terrible.
I wrote, hey, TheViper, buddy. Greater healing potions should never be used
Passive aggressive much?
out of battle, ideally. Big mid-combat consume. Isn't buddy a nice word? What the hell?
It was like, yeah, horrible, terrible, buddy. Hey. No, okay. But my opinion is I should not use the Scroll of the Dead outside of combat.
True, but Dispel goes up. On the one hand, it's right. It would do more in a battle as a surprise attack. What's also true is that Dispel becomes more and more prevalent as games goes on. Undead hits their Dispel window at 9930 if they didn't fast expand. So he's using it as a creeping accelerant, which Greater Healing Potion is not. By the way.
Buddy. Okay, got it.
Mate.
I think at my level, I should not be scared of them being dispelled, at least for now. But it makes sense.
Which means you could keep it, but I'm sure you wouldn't mind a creeping accelerant either.
That makes sense.
He's
As
tanking.
long as I
And
don't get a disconnect message from you after.
I think you would have got a compliment finally if you did it. Like, hey, nice thinking outside the box for once.
Well, I got a clap earlier after my surrounds. I'm happy with my weekly compliment.
That's true. Shadow could be hex first or heal first. Which one do you think would be better? This is a test.
Well, I mean, hex first always, and then heal.
Almost always. Headhunter.
He couldn't give it to me. It was like, yeah, almost, almost always.
I mean, as a third hero, sometimes you open heal wave first. Like, let's say if you're against Mass Rifle Priest, Archmage Mountain King, and you happen to be on this setup, and you go Shadow third, could be heal first, because hex could just be dispelled.
Yeah, I can see that. I'll allow it.
Okay, I'll keep doing it. Well, Thalas.
This base layout feels a bit weird to me. Like all the burrows are like right into the hall, Great Hall.
Never do this if you don't have a war mill, because your peons will have to path here and here, which will cost lumber income. Because double hard edge leaves no peon gap. With war mill, it's kind of okay. Also, reinforced defenses makes it more okay, because adjacent burrows take splash damage from destroyer mana. For the rest, it's kind of whatever. I would have built them differently, but it's fine. Okay.
Yeah, now he's at 50 supply and he's paused now.
Yeah.
He has
like
3 heroes. Yeah, he went tier 3. He has berserkers. This is where I feel like, okay, here I would feel like, okay, this is a good time to attack. I just got my 3rd hero. I got berserkers. I have a Kodo. I'm 50 supply.
You would attack.
I might want to force. This is where I feel like where my decision making would be like, okay, I feel like I should attack now.
Interesting. Into the main, or would you find them on the map?
I would probably go and look for an expansion first to see if I can attack there.
Yeah.
If not, maybe I'll run into them on the map or something, but I would feel pressure to do something with this supply.
Interesting. Can you articulate the reasons?
Because Orc sucks, man. No,
Amen, brother.
No, I just feel like I made so much investment into tech that I feel like I should take advantage of it. Like this is 9 minutes. I feel like it's still fairly early for 3 heroes and berserker tech.
Right.
So I feel like this is a good moment to maybe force a fight.
Let's talk about power spikes. Which recent power spike have you just reached here?
Well, I have a 3rd hero.
Yeah, correct.
And I have extra HP on my berserkers, and I have the possibility to use the bloodlust on them, and I have the Kodo that gives me
bloodlust
boost as well.
You mean the active, right?
Yeah, the one you execute on them. Yeah, that one. Yeah, nice one. That sounded similar.
Thanks. And we got drums coming.
Was that in the game or?
Yeah, it was in the game. I have it on a sound effect. Yeah, okay. And I see. So it's true you have a number of power spikes.
Where's the but?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a repeatable argument to give against it. And technically, I think there's no argument against fighting. I agree, you're ready to fight. You also have TC3 power spike. And you also purchased the healing scroll in this moment. Correct. Gauntlet is a bit of a dilemma. It could stay on the Farseer to make him anti-burstable, or you could put it on TC to give the tanky guy more tankiness and 3 bonus auto attack damage.
I would give it on the TC.
I would too, because I'm greedy, but sometimes it's nice to have it on the mage. Regardless. Yeah, I'm okay with fighting. I think the main argument here, because I'm trying to create a recreatable argument that's not just happening to be true here. I would say the main thing you want to consider is that you don't travel too much for a fight. You're okay with a fight, but you don't want to travel and sacrifice growth to find the fight.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense. So there's an argument here that I just, for example, creep the laboratory here.
Yep.
And then maybe 1 wolf to scout.
Up here.
Yeah, potentially.
Here. Yeah.
I could even go for the red camp here and take it from there.
If you go
I
for
have
the
TP,
red,
right?
Yeah, you have TP. If you go for the red, you want to make sure that you've recently scouted this avenue.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had it happen. I go for a red and then they show up in my butt and I don't like it.
Yeah. Then you TP, maybe. Okay, I like that a lot. Okay, here are the repeatable rules. Once you get to certain power spikes, you are allowed to fight. And ideally, they get connected to the opponent. Does he have his power spikes? Now, let's say we don't know. We don't know. From experience. You will learn from experience.
Yeah.
We're okay with the fight now, but we want everything to be logistically adjacent. So this camp is near, and so is the entire wealth of creeps in the top left. It's all near. But if we don't know where he is, then he could be bottom right. He could be on his way to our main. He could be camping his main. I mean, not likely, but okay. There's all kinds of places he could be. And we don't want to travel the whole world to find him. Because by that time, you'll have 500 gold unspent because no overburrow yet. Even if you had mate, it wouldn't make a difference yet. Right now, your money is low. You've recently reached this count. That means that right now a fight is good, but in a minute it might not be.
Right. Do I want to queue up an upgrade here? Armor, for example? Or do I want to not spend my money?
First overburrow, so that you have the option of going over 50.
Okay.
And then you would get an upgrade. And in this case, I would go one attack.
Attack, yeah. Okay.
One more point. There's always, can we fight? The answer here is yes. The second question is, must we fight? The answer is no, because we're near valuable creeps. And then the third answer is, the third question is, are we in a rush to fight?
Probably not.
We're not. Why not?
Well, why would we be?
If you're in upkeep.
We have no upkeep.
Yeah.
We have good army. We can just we have plenty of creeping options here.
Yeah.
It's not like the creeps are all gone and my base is running out.
Yeah. He doesn't have an expansion, so we're not in a rush economically. We're not at 56 out of 60, where we would be in a rush to fight, because especially if we do that early, thinking maybe he's still on 50, so we have 2 units more, so let's fight. So not in a rush, near high value creeps, don't know where he is, okay to fight, but I'm not going to bend myself backwards for it.
Yeah.
Is that helpful?
That makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
We're under attack.
Note he's not
He
running.
seems okay fighting.
Yeah, he's not running away because he is under the same impression as you are, but he would have maybe gone for creeps if he hadn't found someone.
Yeah, it looked like it was heading straight up to try and take the closest creep to the enemy.
Yeah. And Snare gets dodged with a burrow.
We're under attack.
Told you he's a weird player.
Does it make sense to have dust against undead?
Yes.
Okay. If they have fiends.
Turin also uses burrow.
Good to know. So you're mashing me up against Turin, right?
I might. If you start some smack talk where the two of you have like this insane drama, I may rig the groups for content.
Dude, is it possible to start drama with Turin?
I don't think so.
He will not take fight back. He will just sit there and take it.
He's like, yep, that's true. I am kind of bad.
Yeah, exactly. He will compliment everything I say.
But I respect the hell out of you. He's too nice.
Okay. Now you're going creep. I would go straight left to creep.
Which one?
I would take the top left one first, right here, the closest one.
Okay. And then?
Which one would you take before we see where cash goes?
Red.
Oh, red first?
Maximum
because he's all the way in his base now.
Yeah, maximum displacement, maximum value. You take this first, can get backstab already, and then you have a Western standoff for the rest.
Right.
If you take red and you somehow get creepjacked by an unexpectedly strong army, then you can still walk away from the red after farming it with a TP, and then you can walk up and you can take this camp, which would then give him that camp, and then you'll fight over this one from a safe position.
Yeah, but I will have the red item.
Yeah. He's wrong.
Wow, me and Cash are the same player, basically.
He's wrong.
I mean, how can you say it's wrong? Isn't he higher MMR than you? Everyone knows MMR is everything.
Right now he is, but maybe it's just my hands. Maybe my decisions are better.
Well, maybe.
Cope good.
Wait, so what's... I mean, I feel like... Okay. I understand what you mean, though. I think what you said makes sense.
Look where the undead is. He could have been here already, and then he wouldn't get the red camp anymore.
Makes sense. It adds up. I'll allow it.
Krav is wrong too.
Well, he's a weird player, so... I guess the red cap doesn't make sense to pull away the level 3 heroes for Shadow to get more levels, because the camp is tough enough as is. It
makes sense, but it slows it down, and there's too much value around here. Let's say if this camp was already gone, and you know the opponent is doing the other camp, then you would do it, because there's no way to min-max. But now there's extreme min-max, extreme rush, extreme contestment. But
it's about timing.
I'm glad you're thinking about it. It would have been much better if Shadow got 3 here than TC 3.6, Farseer 3.9, and Shadow 2. And it is takeable. You just didn't want to wait that long.
Yeah, it makes sense, because you can come here and mess with the other creeps as well. Because, I mean, you know he's somewhere, right? And probably...
They both know that this camp...
Could be on the other side.
They both know this camp had been taken. So they both know the top left is the hotbed of action.
Yeah.
So he got that 1 attack upgrade, but this burrow is far too late. This is some Warcraft 3 level macro. This is not StarCraft macro.
Mhm. Right.
1,000
You
gold.
could have said Age of Empires.
Really? People get housed there? Oh, you mean...
No, I never.
Oh,
never
you
get
mean it's
housed
good?
on-
You mean Age of Empires macro is good?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is some Warcraft level macro. Age of Empires players would never make this mistake.
But you said this is not StarCraft. You should have said it's not Age of Empires since I'm your guest at this
That
moment
makes
of time.
sense.
It's just
That makes sense.
just making up. Okay.
I would connect it in a way that would create a greater level of camaraderie and understanding between us. If I
I
had used
appreciate
that.
your use of magnificent words in sentences.
Does that alienate us further away from each other, or does
Not us, but I'm thinking about your audience. How many viewers you have now? Probably like 5, 6, 7,000.
they all really good at English?
English, yeah, but brain.
Noted magnificent alienation.
Okay,
So-
go on.
So Cash, he messed up because they're fighting the fight that had been telegraphed for the last 1 or 2 minutes.
Uh-huh.
This was always going to happen. They were going to have a fight soon. They're fighting over this whole corner. And despite the TP, he's still not over 50.
Yeah.
And he didn't expand. Like right now, with this money, Expo would be literally free. He wouldn't even lose any production if he had been making Expo here. And Expo here, right around the time that Undead TP'd and he ran to the corner, Expo here would have been brilliant because it is diametrically opposed, the opposite side of the map of the red spot. So then he has to choose. Does he go to the top left and contest red and the rest of the camps around here? Or does he cancel the Expo? Or does he do the actual Homo sapien counter and not Neanderthal where he sends 3 beetles to cancel the Expo? But look, there's always a chance that they don't remember to check it. And it wouldn't have cost him any production. Of course, better yet would be instant burrow when he had 160 gold right at the time of the TP. And then he would have had 55 pop now with another Headhunter Raider coming and more Headhunters in production.
Yeah.
I guess his lead was big enough where he doesn't lose the game out right now because of it. Oh, that is crazy.
That's greedy.
Okay, mistake number 1, mistake number 2 with the burrow, mistake number 3 starting this.
Well, is it a mistake? He's holding the line with the tower and
Oh,
I call calculated.
he just wanted to consume.
Oh, did he trap? No, the tower can go. Yeah.
Yeah. He just
He just
wanted,
wanted the item.
yeah, he wanted the consume item. Actually, kind of,
Right.
kind of based.
We're under attack.
Look at that pop
This
count.
is where the stick sits on 51.
Yes, it's terrible, but I mean, he's gonna lose more units soon anyway.
Yeah.
He also has 3 in gold.
Yeah, I guess well, he was harassed, so now he canceled the production to not go over upkeep because he thinks there won't be a fight. Or he lost peon. Okay.
No, you're right. He cancelled the Headhunter
He
Raider.
canceled as well.
This beetle harass by Krav is anti-harass. Because he was at 3 out of 5. The moment you see that, you should just instantly rework. Because now Cash is gonna fix it. Look, solo
But still,
shadow.
he has messed up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, he fixed it now.
So now he will do solo shadow creeping on all the dregs. I like to think of these creeps that are left on the map as pizza crust. Like the girlfriend's pizza crust.
Right.
It's not very good anymore, but it's worth something. And you're hungry because you've got the munchies. Give everything to shadow.
Can be pretty good if you're hungry still.
Yeah, I love it, personally.
Same.
Terrible position to fight into Impale Nova.
Yeah.
Should be using wolves now. Summon wolf. Send it different places to see if Undead is holding this position or not. Because now he's like super blind. So he should
Do
be
you care now if the guy has an expansion or not? Is that important for you to scout, or is it all about his army position right now?
The good thing is, it no longer influences your decision to go over 50 or not, because you are over anyway. But if he has Expo, you would go to 59 or 57 and just fight. And if he doesn't, you could just accept your very slow army growth. You know, no bank, 55 means you have very slow army growth. And just slowly head over to 70 and eventually 80. Both camping.
But I'm actively gonna move out on the map now and
You don't
look for a
have to.
fight.
You don't have to. It depends. Are there still creeps up in your estimation? This can be wolf scouted. We now know from looking there are 0 creeps left on the map. So you don't have to be active if the opponent isn't expanding. You could just go AFK in your own base with watchful eyes, of course.
Can I see the supply of the undead? Okay.
Upgrades.
So I have seen his army, so I can assume he is also in low upkeep at the moment.
Yeah, you can see that from this.
Yeah.
Can you?
I mean, I can't, but I can assume.
5 fiends, 2 statues, 3 heroes.
So statue is 4, 3 heroes are 15.
For statues 3, destroyers 5.
3.
If he had this
And
plus
the
Crypt Lord and 1 statue, that's 50.
Yeah.
5 fiends, 2 statue, 3 hero.
Okay.
Once you see 7 fiends and 2 statue, you know he's over.
Quick maths.
Because it's more than 2 more than 5.
Work complete.
So he's moving out. He's probably afraid of Expo. He has 2 invul, one on
he's scouting.
Farseer, one on Shadow. He knows that at nighttime, he and Undead have the same vision. If there are no burrowed beetles, which by the way, there could be. So he could be getting jacked now from behind.
Right.
If there was a burrowed beetle here, Undead could come in, shablamo on the Kodos. So I don't like this at all. I feel like it's very, very risky.
Question?
Yes.
He's producing now, right? Another headhunter.
Yeah.
Does it not make more sense to not make the headhunter and rather go to a shop and buy a speed healing scroll, for example?
He has 1. You definitely want 1 heal scroll on a army size of, or let's say on a population count of 45 and above. You don't want a healing scroll on 37. It's usually not worth it yet. So from 45 you can have 1. I think you won't want a second one. If you spend more time on 50, you buy another heal scroll at 50. Second one with a plan to go over. So buying a heal scroll at 50 is like saving up at 50. Make sense?
Yeah.
So now he's at 57. Everything is more expensive. He's looking for marginal increases in strength. Just making more units since he's now allowed to make more units. Would it make sense to go for a second heal scroll instead of a Berserker at 55? I can't fault you for that. I think it does kind of make sense because he's against Impale and Nova. And every Impale Nova combo needs a heal scroll.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense.
But then again, like both situations, it will be better depending on what happens in the fight, essentially.
How do you mean?
Like a Berserker could still get more value than a heal scroll, depending on how the fight plays out.
Usually, the reason people do this is because heal scroll is an instant addition to your strength, and unit training is gradual. Like it has a delay. So if you make the headhunter, 35 seconds later in the middle of the map, will you gain the strength of the headhunter? Whereas when you buy a heal scroll, you instantly gain the power of it. So the order
There's a
is
chance this Berserker doesn't even join the fight before it's too late.
Yes, if they were fighting, in which case you would be correct. Like if you did Wolf Scout, the way that I wanted to see Wolf Scout is one goes here and then up to the gold mine 1, gold mine 2. The other wolf checks your own expo and then the corner. If you don't see him, that means enemy is at home or in the middle. So then walking into him would be risky. There could be burrowed beetles. He has seen burrow fiends before. So he's kind of moving around, making himself feel like he's active on the map. But in my opinion, he is making himself be in an awkward position for all kinds of RNG attack angles. And he hasn't gained enough info to feel confident doing this. Nor did he buy something from the shop. So I feel like Cash is making a mistake here with his movement. It would be better if he lets his wolves do the talking and keep making headhunters. If he does move to the shop, it should be with information of why he's going there. And then let's say he gains information, Undead is camped here. Wolf runs in and he sees a building gold mine. Then you would first use all your excess money to build Berserkers, Raiders, Kodo, whatever you're making. And then as you move onto the map, now you know a fight is... Yes. Now you know a fight is impending, which means the next headhunter at this moment may not add value anymore. Then you spend your final 250 at the shop and then boom, we go in. Though perhaps not through this. So
probably not.
You understand what I'm saying about the order now, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so he's making headhunter here, even though he cannot make an accurate fight timing prediction.
This looks like my movement, just running around hoping something happens, essentially.
Yeah. And it was not productive. It would have been better if he stayed in his base. And now the question is, did Kraft actually track his movement? No.
Don't see any beetles anywhere.
Yeah, here, but they were just sent. So kind of random too. Just decided to attack because he reached 68.
68 supply.
Not making another ziggurat. Even if he made it, that would be a minute. Then he has to make army. It will be 1 or 2 max. That takes 1.5 minutes. So the moment you reach the roof of your current supply capacity, that's your personal power spike. And if you feel that was relatively fast compared to the opponent, most likely from the last time you saw their army, That's okay enough reason to attack.
Yep.
He has Invul Potion on 2 of 3 of his heroes. He has
He
2
also
heal
has 2 heal
scrolls.
scrolls.
Yeah. 2 attack upgrades. I like the attack.
If you look at these 2 armies right now, there's
Yeah.
another fiend and a statue coming. On paper, which army do you say is the strongest?
He starts with killing the shop. That means no instant heal pot, mana pot with money. We've got Invul on the melees.
Which means they both don't have it in the fight.
Right. We have some Beetle Harass here, which has a chance to distract. There were not a lot of Lumber Peons anymore because they were previously killed when they were in gold, and Lumber Peons replaced their gold. Burrows add a bit of extra damage and distraction. The fight location after the shop kill is decent for Orc. He has enough space to deploy. Actually, Orc has mostly ranged army as well. No raiders anymore. I guess he felt his raider always gets insta-killed by the Coil Nova because it's melee. So he's just playing with ranged. No invul on TC feels awkward to me.
Agreed?
It's the tankiest. I think he feels these are most likely to be bursted. And TC can still be given a pot if he drops low. He has more warning. Usually, orcs tend to not put invul on range, only on melee. It can be abused because, 525 health. 1 Impale Coil Nova, he's dead. Upgrades, 1-0. He's got the drums upgrade on Kodos. He has Lightning Orb on Farseer, which I find a kind of luxury expense. This is his replacement for Raiders. So now he has a chance to kill Destroyers where they don't get microed away. Does he have Vision for Burrow Fiends? He does not. No Dust, no Crystal Ball. And unless he picked
What's
Farsight,
the limit?
No Farsight.
What's the limit on beetles? How many beetles can he have?
6. They're permanent, they don't time out, but they only go up to 6. Summon more, the previous ones unsummon.
But are those like potentially 4 buried beetles then scary?
Fiends also burrow.
Ah, okay.
Which happened here. He dodged and snare with a burrowed fiend. Stomp level 2. Pretty good survivability on Tauren Chieftain, armor and evasion. Heal wave only level 1 for a while. The bonus damage is nice, but not super impactful. Heal scroll on the TC is on the wrong hero, should be on Farseer. Mana pot is on Farseer, should be probably on TC. So I feel like he's not super ready for it. And he has no CC outside of an RNG of Orb. Cryptlord has 3.5 impales. With Mana pot he has 5. So it'll come down to positioning. There's also Lich with pretty decent damage and Frost Novas. DK has Coil but no stat items. And then there's Destroyers, which really don't have that much purpose. They only remove Wolf and Hex. Destroyer micro is hard for most undeads if your name is not happy. So they could be targeted, purged, and if he wants to kite, purge could be good. But overall, I like the position more for undead. He's got more upgrade, higher army. He's got Impale against his ground-based army. He's got more heal scrolls. I like this for undead. And also, I think undead could expand behind this. Because he has 220 gold that can no longer contribute to this fight. He can't make units. Any Ziggurat now wouldn't matter. He can try to remax, of course, which helps. But he might as well take an Acolyte, make a gold mine now. Because you know it's going to be done. Whatever happens here, it'll be done by the end of it. And if he doesn't like it anymore, he could just cancel it and make units again. We should watch this really slow in half speed. How would you approach, or how do you think it should be approached?
Well, ideally the quotas are closer to the engagement when it starts.
Yeah, ideal
I would just
quotas
try
are
to get
split.
I try to get a decent spread from my berserkers, so as many of them can get involved ASAP.
Yeah.
Spawn wolves, Tauren runs in, and A move and micro. Obviously, ideally you bring the quotas as well, so you can maybe eat a spider or 2.
Yeah. Risks are there's burrow, and he has no dust, which makes this a high burden of execution on undead. But there's a chance that some fiends get saved. They should be saved not too low because War Stomp will kill them after that. Kodos, you can
Does
get
War Stomp damage burrowed units?
Yes.
Okay.
When you summon wolves, they should be split at high level. Because destroyers will attempt to devour. Once they see you summoning wolves, they will devour right in front. So if you quickly split them, usually you dodge both. And then you try to get a lightning orb proc and get all your Zerkers to kill the destroyers first. Avoid hero focus. Try to kill ghouls, beetles, destroyer, and then fiends.
So I'm pretty much ignoring heroes until last. I want to take out the units.
Yeah. And it's not even only because of frost armor on them, which makes them even harder. Which does make Lightning Orb nice, removes frost armor. But just, we want to reduce enemy unit count, and it's easier to kill fiends than heroes with 1,000 health.
Makes sense. Burrow.
He hexes the Crypt Lord because he knows that he's kind of in a good position to get impaled.
Right.
On the topic of hex and heal is better than hex, generally. And he didn't even remove mana from the Crypt Lord, though he did remove cooldown usage, because normally you use impale at the opening, then every time it's available. So he has delayed the first impale, which means he has also delayed the second and third, fourth and fifth impale.
Right.
Then when it comes to purely getting the most out of the beginning of the fight, opening with a hex on a Demon Hunter, Crypt Lord, Mountain King, it means that you're getting more out of the beginning of the fight. Mana pools are good. Having lots of mana pool is good. Warcraft 3 fights can take long, and therefore it's good not to waste mana. However, if for a good bursty opening to the fight, backlog of mana pool does nothing. Specifically
Makes
for
sense.
the opening, right?
Yeah.
So he's targeting this fiend here. This is a risky play. This woo.
Yeah. He gets extra damage now.
Yes, I think it's better to do it on like a few. These two,
spread it out.
These two, yeah. And then later you do it all, but after, preferably after Impale Nova have already been used.
So Destroyer is first target here.
Yeah,
The
because
statues are not.
because they take bonus damage and they allow you to use wolves.
Yeah.
Light armor takes extra from piercing. Statues are heavy, which means they take extra only from walkers, Mark, and Shaman and Doctor. Meanwhile, he's gonna lose all his peons probably. Smart play by Graf. Okay, the Destroyer gets level 3 Shadow. Try to level it up fast. There's still a heal scroll.
be some-
He got
yeah.
Impale Nova. Yeah.
I'm just saying he should use a heal scroll now.
Yes, perfect time for it. Now he sees an opportunity to go for Death Knight.
Yeah.
He maybe clicked it, saw this. Is still gonna try to aim a hit against him. Should have Hex again. Can try to bridge the gap from this stun into the Hex. And then hope Undead doesn't devour magic on time on the DK.
Right.
High level players would feel the Hex coming because they see the same thing the Orc sees. That there's an attempt to burst before. But and then you would actually do a pre-devour even though you don't see the Hex yet, because devour has an animation of cast and Hex is instant, but you know it's going to happen, so you pray to God, you devour at the perfect time to make sure that you can get your invul.
So going for him is essentially accounting for the enemy making a mistake at this point.
Who?
Like if you're targeting the Dark Knight here or Death Knight, you're hoping that the enemy makes a mistake.
Yes, that, but you're also
Essentially.
getting an early start on burning one of their survivability items.
That's true.
So far, DK got controlled twice by Stomp, because Craft's micro here was bad. DK should not be in the main melee. He has full mana, and he hasn't saved a single unit yet. Destroyer, Fiend, or anything. And then he invils. He's blocked by his own Fiend, which is not stunned. He's trying to get away, but he can't. So he's blundering this fight.
Yeah.
Never moved. Gets his first coil of the fight. There's another Stomp before invul passes. Nice invulnerability. Kodos haven't eaten yet, but he's trying. Trying to target the final Destroyer. Nice healing wave. Kills the Destroyer. TC levels up. Should pick Endurance 2 as fast as possible. One Kodo is eaten. Second Kodo eats. Fiend's dying. Only one coil used the whole fight. This is the kind of fight Orc wants. Explosive, confident, bursty. Because if this goes on, then those statues... Excuse me. Those statues will eventually give a lot of health and mana. Okay?
Okay, that looked good. This is where you would have liked to have a Raider.
I wonder if I would have won this fight against Happy if he was the undead. I don't think so.
Oh, against Happy? Not sure.
What did you say about Raider?
So it would have been nice to have a Raider or two there when you're chasing, but then
Yes.
obviously it didn't matter here.
All he has is Orb of Lightning, and Farseer attack is pretty slow, so you're not getting a lot of chances. Okay, cool.
Now you check if he expanded behind.
Yeah, you could check
He's just
for
going
that.
for the kill.
It looks like he's going for Altar. This is still dodgy sometimes, going for Undead base.
Right, he wants the altar so the heroes cannot respawn.
Yes, because he walked past Tavern, which means he's controlling Tavern. Didn't see any rebuy, so he knows he still has a window. Level 1 hero takes 33 seconds to Altar revive. Level 2 hero 66. Level 3 hero 99.
And I think that Death Knight was level 4?
3.
3? Okay. So he has a minute and a half-ish to deny it, and he will.
Correct. And that's if the DK was made first. He was making the Lich, apparently. You don't need to go all in here. At some point, you may get into a too bad position where even though you could win, it's very awkward. and funny surprises can happen. But yeah, he got the Crypt Lord. If Crypt Lord was here, you would just like shave off some buildings, expand behind it.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a
Do
lot
you
of...
expand in this?
Go ahead.
Do you expand in this case with a peon, or do you just still want to buy the great tiny hall?
Always tiny great if you're tier 3, except if you're preoccupied on the other side of the map with your heroes, yeah. So peon is okay. It's way more cost efficient. It saves you like 800, 1,000 gold if you tiny great hole by how fast you earn it back, even though it costs more. So it's worth about 800 gold more if you do a tiny. But it does cost you your hero movement time. And also, once you buy it, you're mostly committing to it. Whereas with normal Great Hole, you can use those as a satellite rod, like as a lightning rod of distraction to manipulate enemy movement. You can still cancel it, in other words.
Yeah. Can you backpack Great Hole on a peon or something?
You can backpack a tiny Great Hole and send it to your hero, but you can't deploy it with a unit. No units can use
two
items.
Units cannot deploy.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So on paper, if you're tier 3, always tiny Great Hall. In tier 2, obviously you don't have a choice.
Yeah. If you're at your shop or near and you can make that single hero do the travel, always tiny if you're tier 3, yes.
Okay.
It completely shrinks the interruption window and it greatly moves forward the window of money return by the maths.
And I add a shredder in case I'm also relatively low on wood.
Add a shredder at any time during or after the expo taking moment. Yeah.
I remember there was one game where I had like 900 or 1,000 wood or something, or lumber, and you said that shredder was unnecessary because of that.
Yeah. You should always get a shredder when you're under 300 lumber. Don't get shredder if you're at like 500 lumber. Under 300 and you did a recent wood peon into Expo gold mine relocation movement.
Got it.
Okay, shall we play some custom games?
Let's play some custom games.
Okay, we are looking for victim candidates to scrim with the Viper and I of 1250 MMR, just about.
I like the rewording there in there. That was good. Quick.
Anyone wants to play? We most prefer... What do we prefer? We most prefer undead, human... undead and night elf, most preferred. I can play... Oh, Lakari, great.
Oh, Lakari wants to play? Good. Learning for both.
You guys can organize that yourself, but right now I have to... I was trolling, yeah, of course. No, I can't do that as a coach that plays both sides. I will cast it if you guys self-organize the show match, but...
It makes sense.